Hello guys and welcome to my chapter review of chapter 253 of Tokyo Revengers. And the title for chapter 253 is, The Worst Is to Come. On the first page of the chapter we see Chifuyu who is charging at Hanma and he is winding up a punch from his right fist, and Chifuyu says, Hanma. But then Hanma easily dodges the punch, and Hanma punches Chifuyu in the face with a punch from his right fist. And we see that this punch from Hanma sent Chifuyu flying to the ground. In the next page we see that Hanma has defeated Chifuyu, Mitsuya, Hakai, and Akin. All of these characters are laying on the floor and they look very beaten up. Hanma has a smile on his face, and Hanma says, that was a clean sweep. And guys, I have got to say that I am really disappointed with this fight, because I have been waiting for so long to see Hanma fight, but they didn't even show Hanma defeating Mitsuya, Hakai, and Akin, and they basically just off-screened the whole fight for no reason. Next the chapter switches to Takemichi who is reacting to Hanma. Takemichi is very worried about all the members of Toman that have been defeated. But suddenly Kikucho interrupts Takemichi, and Kikucho says, you better not look away from me, Takemichi. And Kikucho punches Takemichi in the face with a punch from his left fist. Kikucho looks angry that Takemichi is getting distracted, and Takemichi looks very beaten up. Next the chapter switches to Pei Yen, and Pei was very angry seeing Pa Chin being beaten up by Mikey, and then Pei shouted Mikey's name. And Pei Yen is standing with Smiley and Angry, and so it looks like Pei Yen, Smiley, and Angry will be the ones to fight against Mikey. However, Mikey did not react, he just had a blank expression on his face. And then on the next page Pei Yen tells Mikey to come down here to fight him. And Smiley says, Mikey, we will be your next opponents. And all three of these characters are sweating because they are already tired from fighting the Kanto Manji gang. Next the chapter switches to Wakasa and Benkei. Benkei is fighting against Inupi, and Benkei punches Inupi in his stomach with a punch from his left fist. And this punch makes Inupi fall to the ground on his knees. Wakasa is fighting with Koko, and Wakasa puts his hand on Koko's shoulder, and Wakasa says, but you guys did well as our opponents. And we see that Koko falls to the ground. On the next page Koko and Inupi are both knocked out, and they are laying on the floor back to back. And the Kanto Manji gang members started cheering for Wakasa and Benkei. Next the chapter switches to Takemichi, and Takemichi is having his collar grabbed by Kikucho. Takemichi says, shit, they are all down, what should I do? Next the chapter switches to Smiley who is fighting against Mikey. Smiley started charging at Mikey, and Smiley tried to punch Mikey with his left fist, and Smiley yelled Mikey's name. But Mikey dodged the punch, and Mikey kicked Smiley in the face with one of his signature kicks from his left foot. And in the next panel we see that this kick sent Smiley flying. Fighting against three people is not a problem for Mikey, and Mikey had already knocked out Pei Yen. Now Angry was the only person left standing, and when Angry saw that Smiley and Pei Yen were in a bad condition, Angry started crying, and he could not catch his breath. And we know that every time Angry starts crying, he turns into the crying blue ogre, and when he is in this form he becomes 100 times stronger than Smiley, which means that in the next chapter we will see Mikey fighting against the crying blue ogre. In the next page we see Mikey, and Mikey tells Angry that it is over for him. And Takemichi got even more distracted when he saw Mikey defeat Smiley and Pei, and Kikucho says, what are you looking away for, you jackass? And while he is saying this Kikucho is punching Takemichi in the face with a punch from his left fist, and with this punch Kikucho sends Takemichi flying. Takemichi falls to the ground, and Takemichi says, was this a reckless move? We are all losing, and it is all because of me, and while he says this Takemichi is crying. On the next page Takemichi tried to get back up, but then he accidentally touches the train tracks, and while he is touching the tracks Takemichi suddenly sees a vision of the future. In this vision Takemichi sees a train that is going down the tracks, and this train runs over Chifuyu, Inupi, and Hakai, and all these characters are dead, and they all had their legs crushed by the train. On the next page we see Smiley and Angry, and they both got their bodies crushed by the train, and in this future vision Smiley and Angry are both dead. We also see Sanzu Haruchiyo, and Sanzu says, "They were so annoying, so I killed them all at once," and while he is saying this Sanzu has a smile on his face. On the final page of this chapter we see Takemichi, and Takemichi says, "Was that another vision? Is Sanzu really going to kill everyone?" And there is a note from the narrator that says, Toman is at an extreme disadvantage. What is the eerie vision concluding the end of the battle? And so guys, let's talk about the future vision that Takemichi has in the chapter. In this future vision Sanzu says that he is the one who killed all the members of Toman, and this means that Sanzu put all of their bodies on the train tracks, and that is why we see that all of their legs got crushed by the train. In the next couple chapters I am predicting that Takeyomi and Taiju Shiba will both show up to help Toman. And I think that Taiju and Takeyomi will save all the Toman members by moving their bodies off of the train tracks. I say this because the next volume cover of Tokyo Revengers got leaked, and in this cover we can see Takeyomi, Sanzu, and Senju when they were children. And this leads me to believe that Takeyomi will show up, and when he does we will get the full backstory of Sanzu. However, even if Taiju and Takeyomi show up, Toman will still lose no matter what, because Mikey is too powerful of an opponent. And in this leaked volume cover we can see the same Ferris wheel that is at the amusement park that Draken died at. Anyway guys, that was it for my chapter review of chapter 253 of Tokyo Revengers. Also let me know what you guys think of the chapter in the comments below. And like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and thank you for watching.